Being born in a stable does not make one a horse. So said the Duke of Wellington, who lived here at Apsley House in London. Apsley House is owned by English Heritage, and in 2015 the government gave them £80 million and told them to make their stable of properties exciting to their 1 million members. So our experienced design director Kardo Ayoub caught up with our old client Luke Whitcomb, and we found out how we made that happen.
Luke wasn't available, but we have got somebody amazing with us. Tamsin, welcome to the team. It's really lovely to have you here. So Tamsin Burwell, you're head of digital at English Heritage, when we worked on the website with you way back in 2014.
Yeah, started in 2014 and launched with a hard stop in 1st of April 2015.
Goodness, does it still seem like yesterday?
It does, and it really was a hard stop because it was the launch of the charity, so there was no wriggle room. So it was quite an exciting time going up to that, so I remember it very well.
Brilliant. Can you remember how the project came about and how we appeared in your lives?
Yeah, so back in sort of January, February 2014, we were starting to talk about splitting English Heritage, which was a public body, into two parts. A public body called Historic England, which took care of all the historic building regulations, the listing, the policy side of conversations, and the 400 historic properties we actually looked after that were visitor attractions, so from Stonehenge to Hadrian's Wall and to quite a lot of small incredible places like Offa's Dyke, but we didn't know for certain. So at the time we knew we had to prepare in case this happened, and we were also aware that our visitor attraction side of our business wasn't really making the most of what it could do. So a decision was made to split the website. Whether we split the organisation or not, we would split the website, and it became apparent that we were going to need a little bit of extra help with the brand, because although we'd had a great rebrand and we were bringing history to life, the digital side of that wasn't really punching where it could. So we put out the usual procurement documents, you wrote them, which was so much fun. But I do remember we had really strong responses, and the team was one of those strong responses. But when we got in the room, Luke, Alice and myself just looked at each other and went, yeah, because you didn't just pitch to the people in the room, so it would have been really easy to, I'm quite geeky, so to go down the sort of the route of the techie side of the brand or digital brand, and it could have been very marketing-y, but you guys were pitching to the people that weren't in the room, so the curatorial team, the site managers, the people who really made us an authentic brand that were really going to take the charity forward. And that was what made us go, okay, these guys, not only can we trust them, but they get what we do. So yeah, that was cool.
So from a digital point of view, what were the key objectives of the project?
Although we were, well up there in the search, I knew we could do better. Engagement, making our pages more sticky, getting people to the bottom, not necessarily the bottom of pages, but we were losing people on their journeys. And I really felt that there was an opportunity for deeper engagement. And then my kind of personal thing at that point was that this would become the hub of a wider digital environment. And I wanted it to be a place where a conversation could start. So it needed to have that authenticity of the brand and then be able to lead people off. So I guess shareability would be the sort of digital phraseology for that.
So the website was really successful as well. I mean, some of the stats are actually quite hard to get your head around. So something like a 500% increase in event ticket sales.
I mean, absolutely fantastic. We'd done a lot of groundwork to improve e-commerce, but I always felt we weren't really reaching our potential, and the new site just blew us away. Like 500% increase in events tickets, 200 increase in search traffic. Now, search was so important to us because we had really tight budgets, but also there had been a bit of narrative about that we were doing really well in search, and suddenly we were just blowing those figures out of the water. So yeah, I think all round we saw some impressive stats. They're online somewhere. I always have to sort of stop and think, because the numbers always sound so incredible, and yet they were, and it was great, and it created this basis that we could just grow and grow from.
Yeah, I think there was something like a 60% increase in unique e-commerce transactions from mobile and tablet, which again, considering this wasn't mobile first, that's an amazing achievement to take the website, make it responsive, adaptive, and get that increment in sales.
That was really important. I think that sort of, although the brief wasn't mobile first, I think we
did approach it.
It was a sort of conversations in the room. I remember Dan, myself, you, John, with increasingly saying this is how they're going to use it. But one of the things that was really valuable was the increase in time spent on the sort of deep content, that people were finding that content and they were engaging with it, and then people were seeing more pages, they were visiting more sites, they were engaging more with the story of the sites and the story of English heritage. And so, yeah, there were some really impressive stats around the stickiness of the pages, which gave us the license to then go out and create more of this content and to grow the social channels off the back of that. So it was a really good sort of core of that ecosystem.
But that was one of the biggest challenge, because we had to make this website to not only cater the right information to the right people at different times, but also cater for that flexibility in somewhere like Dover Castle and Stonehenge, where you have tons of information, visit information, history, the timelines or whatever, and then you have Winchester Wall behind us that probably nobody knows about, that it's even here.
Yeah, enabling people to find those little gems was a core part of it, and you'll see on the site there are places nearby. So we had to cater for the true enthusiasts who were looking for anything about heritage, but also the very pragmatic kind of days out, family days out, where you basically need a loo, a cafe, and to know that there's a lot of space for some kids to run around, or actually this place isn't for me. Yeah. And I think we did so much user testing, and a lot of what we discussed here actually in the room back there was validated, but also we had challenges thrown up, and as a team the people in the room were able to meet those, and I loved that kind of energy we were able to sort of spring on it.
It was very open, really open relationship. Nothing was kind of in the background, discussions and stuff, everything was on the table. It was lovely to be able to work in that way with everybody in the team.
Yeah. And it won an award, didn't it? The
UK UX award. That was amazing. Fantastic. Because there were really strong contenders. Yeah. Like I think it was, I thought we'd just be in the charity sort of bucket, as it were, category. And like Save the Children, I think it was, we'd done an incredible campaign, incredible site. And then was it entertainment? Oh, travel and entertainment, perhaps?
It was, so the brief changed for us when it clicked. It's when Luke said, I don't want to be known as a charity, I want to be known for entertainment. Yeah. And we did the work and we entered the UK UX Award for entertainment and charity to see which one.
And we were up against Sky, so I went there like, I'm there for the drinks, this is a nice night out.
Yeah. So for charity, we lost, and for entertainment we won, we beat BT Sports.
BT Sports, that was it. And it was just like, and they were good
Yeah,
sites,
yeah.
and I was like, I knew it was good.
We were better.
But no, I knew what we'd done was good. But it's like being a parent. You always think you're just biased a bit. And it was amazing. I think I was very embarrassing that night, and my team were all a bit like, "Oh, she's got emotional." But
So the results were obviously a key part of it. But what do you think made it so successful? Why do you think it would beat something like BT Sports?
I think the breadth and depth and the authenticity. You know, to go live with that much content and for the content to be so good, that owes a lot to the English Heritage team from all over the organisation. Everybody chipped in, but that wouldn't have been possible without the project. And even just those 3 initial pages you guys designed took us much further and engaged everybody within the organisation to really pull together.
There's so many aspects of this project that are challenging. What would you say was one of the hardest things to overcome?
I think the sheer volume of material
It's huge.
is really something that outfaces a lot of people.
Yeah.
Also, just taking myself, we were all a lot of very passionate people, and we had great expectations of what could be, and meeting those and making everybody happy,
Yeah.
and not just the stakeholders that worked at English Heritage. But I don't know if I ever told you, the day of launch, the week of launch, we'd set up the customer services team with extra people, everybody ready, you know, to switch over to the website. And we were expecting, as these things happen, because it's very well loved, and you know the members are very invested, we were expecting that with any launch you get complaints. We got 2 complaints first morning, 2 complaints.
It's amazing.
Both by gentlemen walkers, and both essentially saying the same thing. Why are there so much information and pictures? I just want to be able to print a map, and I want to
walk.
Yes,
I want to walk.
I don't need all of this. And we were able to say, if you just press that particular tab, you'll get everything you need. And if you press up to print, you'll be able to print it. But that's literally, I've never worked on a project like that, where nobody got lost. It was so intuitive. People found their way around. And a lot of love from our members and from our colleagues. It was a very special moment. It was great.
That's amazing. Tamsin, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much. And just remembering this project and in all its glory, the highs, the lows, everything in between. It's always been one of our favourites, really genuinely. So yeah, absolutely lovely. Thank you so much.
It was a joy to work on. Just thank you for inviting me back.
Pleasure, you're part of the
Same,
team's 40th year. So yeah,
Wow.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely, thank you.